Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Games podcast, episode 389, probably. It's Allan's last show. He's never coming back. And if he does, we're going to load him up into a rocket and send him to the moon.
Oh dear.
He's going to go to the moon.
That's expensive. I don't know why we sent him to the moon.
I mean, we all don't have the smarts in order to go to the moon, but we're very proud of Allan. He's going to the moon. Grab some space rocks. We'll grind them up and make portable surfaces. Portal surface? A surface that can hold a portal. Okay, it's revolutionary.
Cool.
It's revolutionary. Okay, let me tell you something. Totally would not cause the end of the world. Totally would not alert the Combine of our existence.
What about mantis men?
Or giant worm men.
Well, I think the problem is mantis men will kill us.
No, they're not. They're not as dangerous, Josh.
Okay.
Yeah, but Allan, you make sure you get that portal surface found for moon rocks, okay? And if you don't understand the reference, my God, sir, play Portal.
No, he gets
What?
it.
Also joining me this week is Josh. Josh, how was the Pinkerton invasion of your house?
I mean, no one died, so that's great.
Yeah.
They did punch everyone lightly, which I wasn't a fan of.
Where did they punch you?
Well, typical spots, the face.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like,
All
Like,
this
what the
over plastic crap.
No, cardboard crap.
Yes, okay, yeah, okay.
Like, anyway.
Yeah.
Allan, have you heard about the Pinkerton shit?
I'm Jeff, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, the fucking Pinkerton shit is just... It's so absurd. Like, here's the funny thing. I found another article, also posted on Reddit, that said that this is not the only time they use the fucking Pinkertons. Like, they used them before. Apparently there was a time where a sheet of foils got leaked, and they used the Pinkertons to go track down where the fuck that was.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the difference, okay? Sheets of foil, so they can be expensive. They can fuck up the magic economy.
What magic economy? They've been taking that for the past year at this point.
Yeah, literally. Like, in another thing about this whole scenario, especially with the recent Pinkerton scenario, the set that was spoiled was such a non-set, like a non-burger of a set, to the point of these cards could have been in the March of the Machines, but it wasn't. For whatever reason, these are printed separate, and these are just even it's only 50 card set, and it's such a garbage set to the point of why is this even a thing? This doesn't make any sense. It's so fucking stupid. And they sent the Pinkertons after the dude too for literally what was not manufacturer error, a mailing error of he ordered it from a website, the website fucked up, and they gave him the wrong shit.
I mean, literally what they did was not...
It's not illegal either.
No. The guy who got the cards has a really good lawsuit now. All of a sudden, he has a really good lawsuit, and it's pretty obvious what caused this, if that makes sense, is Hasbro panicking.
Oh, I mean, literally, yeah. I think there's not a single logical thought that goes on in the higher-ups over at Hasbro or Wizards.
I mean, this is a company that has almost killed Dungeons and Dragons now how many times? And they have somehow managed to, how do I say this? Shave off any of the uniqueness, any of the insanity, anything that was interesting about Dungeons and Dragons, and they made it into relatively mundane fantasy game.
Delicious toast.
Yeah, it's 5e is not a good not a good edition of Dungeons and Dragons, if that makes sense.
Oversimplification.
What?
Yeah. Oversimplification.
Yeah. They did the
It's actually something. It's actually a lot of tabletop games actually have a problem with hey, we want to draw in more people, so let's overly simplify the game constantly.
God help us if they ever make a new RP version of Cyberpunk. It will literally just be,
They already have a new version of Cyberpunk.
oh God, oh no. Well, God help us if they ever make another version of whatever the fuck I was gonna say, but whatever. But yeah, no, they've been slowly killing like all of their franchises for like a while now. Like Magic the Gathering, that has been on a downward spiral for like how many years, Josh?
Like 5-ish years.
I don't think you've ever been positive about it. In like,
There's like small slivers of positivity, and like at the same time, it's just that, well, as long as they keep printing cards, there's people are gonna play the game. But at the same time, it's just that like, it's like people, we're like MMO players at this point. We're constantly grumbling and grumbling of like, what, like this shit's bad, this shit's bad, this shit's bad, and we're just pointing it all out. And of course, people who are making said thing are just either not listening, or if they're listening, they have to react to it 3 months later.
you're just worse than the World of Warcraft players.
Like, I don't know, it's hard to make a facsimile here, because like I would say things were better. Actually, when did I start? I started around World Wake, and like I think things were slightly better then, although things were, I would say, there's a problem of the game being solved. Like, okay, if you want to play, let's say you play Magic the Gathering let's say you play Magic the Gathering around World Wake, and you're like, okay, I want to play competitively. Well, it's solved because turns out you need Jace the Mind Sculptor, and also you need Stoneforge Mystic in the same deck. Therefore, like, these are the most optimal cards, the best deck you could possibly make.
Optimum.
Yeah, the most optimum best deck ever. You need these to put them in. And things have the tendency to be, solved quick. And nowadays, because they're kind of pushing out more product, I would say there's like, there is, I would say, a little too much product of like people trying to absorb it and they can't, or they can't afford it type of thing. But at the same time, I would say there's less like, there's people who have more time on their hands to like actually figure out what is the optimal deck to play, because that gap between certain sets just doesn't happen anymore, because every month is a new thing. You got to get the next thing next month. Hype train, constant hype train. Like,
constant expansion is not the healthiest situation to be in.
No, I mean, yeah, constant expansion.
It means the moment you don't have expansion, everything falls in on itself.
Yeah, and people go, "Where's the expansion?"
Why?
Or if anything, and people just go back to the older cards and start figuring out if they're good, or they printed too little. Although that's not the case at all.
I mean, it just sounds like to me like as if Magic the Gathering is slowly dying.
I don't think it's slowly dying. I just say it's going to get a hell of a lot worse if it gets a hell of a lot worse. If you know what I'm saying.
It's going to take like a financial crisis or something like that in order to bring it down.
I think so. I think like in order to take down Wizards of the Coast and like the printing out the cards and everything, it will take like end of the world / company. Oh, turns out there's a certain law that came out, so that makes the company obsolete immediately, therefore can't print shit. Like, that's the only reasons I can see this card company going under. But at the same time, like, it's gonna, if it ever does go under, it's gonna take a long time. Because, man, they're really, Hasbro is really hinging on fucking Wizards of the Coast to make money. Which, it's not great.
Not good, not great.
Yeah,
3.7, 3.6 Rontgen. Not bad, but not great.
exactly.
Oh, you too have watched Chernobyl, I see, Alan.
I watched Chernobyl before you, dude.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, like, well, hopefully if all I know is that if I have some advanced set of cards that hasn't been spoiled, it hasn't been shown anywhere, I will make sure to leak it in the back alley so that Pinkertons can't get my ass.
No. You know what you do? Okay? This is my amazing idea. You go to... what is it? You go to a country, a far-off place. You leak them there. And then when you go back to Canada, and you don't show like any, like you buy a burner, you gotta do this right, okay? You gotta buy a burner phone, you gotta buy like a VPN, you gotta route through all of these different things, okay? So that you have to spend money.
I highly doubt I have to do any of that. I'll just go to a library, upload images, done.
No, because that's trackable to you.
Is it?
How do you get into a library, Josh?
I guess so.
How do you log on to a computer?
I guess so.
Well, at a library, you really need to log on, but you're still logging in.
I could hug the wall and use their Wi-Fi.
You're better off doing it at a Starbucks, and even then,
yeah.
like even then,
Which one of these people is a big enough nerd for Magic the Gathering? Is it this normal white lady? Is this normal dude that looks like it works works 3 jobs? Is it this huge nerd wearing logos everywhere?
No, it's more like this is what it's more likely going to be. It's going to be, hey, so who do you think? Who's this IMI to? I know. We know what carrier is, so we could probably figure out what carrier he's on. Okay, let's search a database and see where he bought the phone. Oh, look, here's a bill of sale with the exact IMI on it, and it's Joshua Blanks. Oh, let's go pay Joshua a visit. Like you have to do it right. You have to buy phones under fake people's names. So you have to be like, hello, my name is Joshua Meeks, but I would like this phone purchased under the name Jeff Rock, so that way then Jeff gets a visit.
Ah, I see.
See?
And then you throw the phone in the dumpster.
No, then you burn the phone. You got to do this right.
You got to drill holes through the phone so that it doesn't work.
That's like my plan for like when I go to China is to like not take my actual phone, is to buy a burner.
Ah.
So that way then like when the CCP is like, oh yes, Mr. Roku, we have to take your phone. I'll go, oh yeah, it's fine. And then when they like come, when I get it back, I'll be like, cool, do my trip and all that fun stuff. Come back and then take the SIM card out and
we need to take your phone. Sure, here we go. Oh, don't touch the furry porn on that. That's very important to me. I want that back.
Just make it like really disturbing shit.
I want my furry porn back. Do not.
Here's a question: would the Chinese government arrest me if I had really disturbing furry porn on there?
Probably. I mean, it
That would be
probably
funny.
would it?
It'd be funny for like 10 minutes.
Well, actually, I remember another tidbit about the Pinkerton story. The guy who got the cards early, apparently he was contacted by Wizards many of a time, but they for whatever reason never got the message from Wizards. And also, Wizards put out a press release saying like it was the most like trying to dance around the words Pinkerton as much as they can without saying the word Pinkerton. Like, like they got such shit of like, you're using a company that's been known for evil for so long. Like, what's wrong with you? Oh, it's so funny.
I mean, it's the fact that they're the Pinkertons. I mean, you name an organization that is literally the face of evil.
I mean,
There's
there's
like
still
two.
there's through the history, they're still doing evil. It's like, I guess evil pays. Like, Christ.
I mean, you talk about like companies that like have done really horrible shit. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the Pinkertons.
Well, I mean, the Pinkertons are supposed to be like an independent investigation group.
Yeah.
That's what they're supposed to be, but like they're essentially just hired thugs
Now
Yeah.
they are.
in all reality. But like, oh man,
They're just-
Imagine having some guy like God, and they have no government backing too. That's the better part too.
backing.
Like they're not like the FBI or the CIA or any of those
They're not a government associated organization.
organizations. So they have nothing, but they're just private.
Yep.
It's just funny. I'm sure they do noble things, but like stories like this just really colors the organization. If you guys catch my drift.
Yup.
Yeah.
You know, I actually played a new video game this week. I played a game that I thought was super interesting.
Was it
I
Advance
finally-
Wars?
No, it's a game that I saw forever ago, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to play this. This looks really interesting. Boomerang X is the game where you're throwing a giant shuriken boomerang at evil monsters and such, but you have a butt ton of abilities to kill all these monsters with this special boomerang. And it's the game where it's a first-person shooter, but all you have is this magical boomerang that does all this weird bullshit. And and all of the abilities that you can do with this boomerang, and like the whole list is you can throw it, it will come back like a boomerang. You can run away from the boomerang, it will track you, and you can kind of use that to like get more enemies to if they're running behind you to eat up by the boomerang. You can charge the boomerang so it can go further and hit harder. You can teleport to the boomerang. Once you throw it out there, you can go and teleport to the boomerang, so you can use it as like a high jump and even keep your momentum and keep going forever. You can actually send out the boomerang and tell the boomerang come back to you immediately, so you can chuck it out again. So you can use that as like a quick 1-2 button combo. There is also slowdown. If you're charging the boomerang and before you throw it or anything, you hit the slowdown button, it will slow down time. And I found a technique of slowing down time, throw the boomerang, and if you keep clicking the left click button, you can freaking keep teleporting, killing enemies, teleport to the boomerang, slow down time again, and then keep doing that over and over. So you're just teleporting everywhere to where your boomerang is, and you're killing foes as much as you're teleporting, which feels pretty good.
I like.
Gameplay is just it's a first-person shooter with weird teleporting boomerang powers.
I like how it's in the 2021 Devolver Collection.
Yes,
So this is a Devolver game?
it sure is. It feels like in their wheelhouse of like, it's interesting, it's weird, it plays well, it's in their wheelhouse.
Do we get McPixel?
McPixel, isn't that not in there?
No, it's not in
'Cause-
that game.
I mean, that's still on Steam, and that's always a freaking hilarious game.
McPixel is a hilarious game.
Oh yeah, totally. Just freaking solve this mystery in 3 seconds. Throw the I'll pick up the dynamite, see what happens. Oh, he eats the dynamite. He explodes. Well, that wasn't the solution. But yeah,
McPixel's
Boomerang.
a interesting game.
sure is. But anyway, Boomerang X, it's cool and interesting, and also I didn't realize the story of Boomerang X is evolving around bug people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like when I first jumped in, I'm like, okay, you're on a stranded island, whatever. You're going through the levels, you're learning your gimmicks, you're doing all these things, and then as you meet one friendly NPC, and it's like this kind of cute, kind of friendly centipede, and he has all these like stuff strapped to him, and all these pouches and stuff, and he's talking to you about, oh, this place is safe, and oh, you don't know what's going on. Yeah, this people are fucked up, and oh, I don't know where you came from and how you got here, but watch out for other bad things and whatever. And I'm like, just sitting there going, you're a bug person. Okay, that's weird. And then as you keep going through the levels, you're like, oh, these are mantis people. Okay, so mantis men, they're back, and and a lot of the people and a lot of the mantis men that you run into, they're dead. They're very dead, and some evil shenanigans are happening on the island, and you're using your boomerang to kill all the evil bad guys, and a lot of mystic, magical shenanigans going on, and that's how you get your power-ups usually. And that's so far what I played of, like, you're getting magical shenanigans stuff and you're killing foes with the boomerang, and it's pretty cool. Maybe I'll play it again, although I still gotta finish Tunic. So
oh yeah, that game's too good.
Yep.
Tunic might be
like right now I finally got to the point of I'm going to the graveyard. So
yeah, you're definitely farther ahead than me now.
Oh, okay.
Because like I stopped playing it game, and now I'm like every single time I boot it up, and I'm like, oh, I'll put a little bit of time into Tunic. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah, so because of history of playing video games so long, I end up just like kind of piecing it together in my brain of like, okay, I did this, I did that. Game logic says I should go do this. Okay, let's go do that because it seems like I can't do anything else. And then I'm like, oh, I'm correct. I should do that. And also, I figured out in Tunic, you can parry.
Yes, you can parry. That's been a skill I've known for a long ass time.
I didn't realize you can parry up until like what temple was that? The Forgotten Underground or some shit? Like I didn't realize you could parry until I was like doing weird shit in there, and then I was like, wait, you can parry? Oh, yeah. You can parry.
Yeah, you can parry. That game's great. Holy shit.
All the self-discovery in that game is so good. I like it.
I mean, do you know how amazing Fez was?
It was pretty good although it could have been, I think if you looking back on it, it's like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. Although I'm pretty sure if you play it again, it'd be like, a lot of these puzzles are not great.
I mean, here's the thing: is like okay, when Fez came out, Fez was like one of those amazing games where like it pushed discovery so hard. Like it pushed it so hard, and it was like, oh, that's so cool. And then like Phil Fish couldn't keep his fucking dick out of his ass, and then just like became.
I mean, he hasn't done anything since that game.
No, he
so
stopped making video games, dude.
Yeah, he's only doing music.
Yeah, he's like fuck this shit, I'm making music, and I was like, okay. Guy's a pretty good musician, but he's like such a patronizing fuck, too.
Yeah, like I really thought like it would just be easily solved if he just didn't pay attention to Twitter. Like,
he has the problem of that 90% of the population have, myself included.
He needs validation.
No, he is a addict.
Of validation? He's a validation addict?
Yeah, no, he needs to be validated, and he's an addict about that stuff, so yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, if he just ignored social media, I'm sure he would still be making video games, but he just cannot compel himself to do that. Mm-hmm. He has to go down the internet and cause stirs. Mm-hmm. Like, yup.
Yeah.
But anyway, Tunic, it's also good.
I'm gonna...
I gotta go back to playing Tunic. I think I'm right at the cusp of another boss fight, but I think it's a boss rush, so I'm gonna have fun with that.
I need to play that game more. We also need Allan to play that game, but Allan's not going to play that game because he's going away. He's going to the moon.
You can get some internet on the moon.
I don't think so.
Is that right, Alan? You can get internet on the moon?
I have no idea.
No.
I'll find out. I'll let you guys know what's going on when things are going on. But yeah, no, this is the last podcast I'm going to be on for probably ever, but there might be chances to come back as a guest.
You see, we don't know when the rocket's going up either. That's the funny thing. We just know he's going away, and then he's going to go to the moon. It's great.
Hilarious.
Yeah, fantastic. Anyways, Allan, have you played any games this week before you going?
No, I've been just relaxing all week.
Okay.
I mean, that's not bad. Chillaxing.
I don't have much to talk about this week. That's why I was trying to get somebody else on. But that didn't happen.
I was gonna say, speak about chillaxing. Have you watched Mystery Science Theater on Twitter or not Twitter? Twitch. I'm mixing my T's.
They brought back Mystery Science Theater. I thought they brought them back like years ago.
So yes, they did. But here's the funny thing about that. I was like, oh, I'm kind of bored, but I want something in the background. So I looked up the Mystery Science Theater on Twitch because I know they're always running episodes all the time. So I was like, I'll just run that in the background. And I booted it up, running in the background. I was kind of paying attention to it. I'm like, oh, what are they showing? Some shitty fucking show from Brazil or something. And I'm like, that's shitty. And they had to go get new crew, new voices, because the OG guys, they are doing their own thing with riff tracks. So I'm not sure if they make special appearances on the Mystery Science Theater stuff or what they're doing. But it was like, oh, there's new voices for the Crow and Crow and Turnbot? Bot Crow for whatever, the gumball machine robot, and then the glove hand robot that's gold, that's Crow.
Yeah,
they got new voices. So I was like, oh, whatever, new voices, that's fine. But the only thing that I feel really took the win out of the sails for me was Crow. I felt, I don't know, I guess the voice for Crow could be anything. The only thing that sucked, though, was that there was very evident a female voice on Crow. And I'm like, couldn't you change him in some degree so it would fit the voice? Like, give him a blue stripes and then like, oh, this is Value Town Crow or something. Like, just to match the voice, because in my head, I'm thinking, oh, this would be the old voice. No, it's some female voice actor that's conflicting within my brain constantly. I'm not sure if it's because it's like my inner fanboy hating it or something, but it's like, great, I don't like this voice at all.
It's just not what you remember.
Yeah. Like, I was just remembering just a male voice to go with it, and now it's just a female voice on top of it, and I'm like, I'm not sure if this fits. Like, that's the only thing. Is like, if this Crow was just changed, I think I would accept it more. But because it's the same Crow, I'm like, could she get a better voice actor? Like, again, I could be just complaining, like old men complaining.
Yeah, you're doing the thing I do all the time on like my friend's Twitch channel is randomly something will happen and then I just go like, man, back in my day, that would be stupid. And then all the chat pops up and goes, old man yells at Cloud. And it's like, yeah, I do that. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm probably the old man who yells at Cloud.
You are the old man out of all three of us.
I'm so fucking old.
And yet you almost could rob a Walmart and you still didn't.
Because I'm a good boy.
Josh, one of these days you're going to rob that Walmart and I'm going to be there for it.
I'm going to rob that Walmart, walk out of that store, and then realize down the road, did I rob that Walmart?
And I'm just going to like be sitting there going, yes, you did. Like, this is not as bad. It's okay as long as you go back in. Because like I've robbed Costco.
That's
I
not
am
hard.
legitimately raw. Yes, I go in and I'm like, I buy like a bunch of energy drinks, and I'm like buying my product, and I'm like, okay, whatever. And I walk out and I give the guy the receipt, and then I'm walking, I'm looking at the receipt, I'm like, huh, that's odd. That's cheaper than what it should be. And then I sit there and think about it, I'm like, I should go back and pay for it. Like, literally, that was my thought process. I was like, I know this is going to come back and haunt me.
I mean, they're supposed to look at your receipt before you leave.
They did?
Yeah, they must have went energy drink. Yep. Okay, go.
Yeah, and there was like 2.
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been playing games.
Oh, have you?
I've been playing video games in between.
I watched a movie this
You
week.
watched a movie? Was it Tetris?
No,
Do you want to talk about it?
I watched Redfield.
Redfield.
You watched the Nicolas
Yep.
Cage vampire movie?
Yes,
How
and it's fun. It's not great.
isn't that most Nick Cage movies?
No. Well, there's some Nick Cage movies that are just like fantastic, just because they're like a good example. Lord of War. Lord of War is a fantastic Nick Cage.
Mm-hmm.
Same with The Rock. Like Nick Cage has like such a wide breadth of movies that like you can just nail it down as like his average. Like he has such a wide range of things that he's done. It's just like you can talk about anything. But in this one, like he's not the main character. He's the main antagonist and stuff like that, and it's done so well that he's actually like really fun to watch.
Makes sense.
And like the movie's again fun and entertaining, but not great. I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10. I'm probably not gonna ever go back and rewatch it. It was fun. A little like oh my god, I don't know about the actor they got for Redfield, but like he was still pretty good. He had like a posh English accent and fantastic. But it kind of like felt like he was a little lacking in some ways. I don't know. I might be like overthinking it a little bit. Yeah, no. Again, the movie was fun. I'd recommend seeing it if just to have a fucking blast watching a kind of okay movie.
Yeah. Makes sense. But I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna see that movie. I really don't. I couldn't care less.
I don't know. I'm seeing this trailer and I'm like, oh, this looks cool. I'm just seeing Nicolas Cage as a vampire. And I'm like, yeah, he pulls it off. He's killing people. Oh boy.
Yeah, he's a vampire, and then I think Renfield is like, once he eats like a bug, he becomes like fucking superpowered or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. So, that seems fun.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
What looks like.
Anyways,
what game did you play, Jeff?
I was gonna buy Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, or Jedi whatever the fuck it was called.
Jedi whatever the fuck?
It was the best EA game. It was Jedi Fallen Order. My nephew liked it. I was gonna buy it. Instead, I bought Advance Wars,
Hooray!
a game that I literally
Is it on?
Yeah,
Is it on Steam?
Switch.
Yes.
Switch.
Oh, it's on Switch?
Yeah, Advance Wars is
Okay.
on Switch.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense, I guess. I really thought it was on Steam.
Yeah. Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order on Steam, but I heard about all of the bullshit that's going on with Jedi Fallen Order, and
So you decided to go with safe and go play the Advance Wars.
like being a former employee of that company, I kind of go, I could see it.
I can see it.
I could see the reason why they fucked up. They probably ran bugs into the ground. Or not bugs into the ground. They probably ran bots and there was no performance optimization. And plus...
Well, that's been a problem. That's been a problem for a long while now.
and-
is optimization.
And that's also ignoring the fact that, like, when I was there, we had troubles getting graphics cards and parts and product to use. So we would be sitting there being like, well, we can't optimize. And everyone would go, oh, shit. Well, that sucks. I guess we're doomed.
Is that during the part of COVID?
This was during the later stage of the 19 pandemic.
Okay.
It was really fun. We had like 5 PlayStation 5s.
I would argue that if you could run it on a lower end system, it can run on fucking anything.
You would think, but the problem is like RTX is a different architecture.
I see.
And like with PCs and stuff like that. Like you can test we had computer parts, we could test them all day. Like we had everything 10 series like 9 series up.
Ah.
So like my work PC at the time was a 7th gen extreme part. Whereas like the new stuff is a lot harder to get, specifically graphics cards.
Huh.
So
Okay.
we couldn't test like on a 2080.
Huh.
It was like you couldn't test on 28s because the artist needed a 28. So you would have to sit there and ask an artist, "Hey, can we test on your machine?" And they would go, "Okay." And you would have to remote into the artist machine, test the game, and then fuck off for the night. And 9 times out of 10, like it was just better if we just had the bots do it. So that stuff's all automated. So I can see where like all of the fun shit happened where it's like, oh yeah, you probably automated the testing because you were doing it. And then instead of watching the videos to make sure the videos were done, you just were like, oh, how are performance metrics? Oh, performance metrics are good. Cool. Like that game needed more testing, obviously. But
So wait, you can just look at metrics and not look at the video?
yeah. And 9 times out of 10, the metrics are going to be better. Because you can look at them. You can go through 15 metrics before, or wait like 3 hours for one video.
Huh. I get it that you want to be fast, and that's the fastest method, but just looking at metrics, it's not going to necessarily say that this is going to run good.
No.
Like...
No, and that's the problem is like that's the reason why like, you know, you like the way that we did it was very different. Like we would have our QA testers being like, "Hey, we need you to do a pass on the game on this right now." And the QA tester would go, "Okay." And then they would go off and do the pass, and then we would sit there and be like, "I hope it runs on their machine." And I would just be sitting there being like, "Okay, I hope all of the products that we made runs on their machines." So
Interesting.
I don't know, man. That game, I don't know. That game looks good, but I'm gonna wait until it comes. I'm gonna wait until like the 20th patch, and then I'll buy it.
Cool.
If that makes sense.
But by the way, how was Advance Wars since we're
talking about it,
Yeah.
Advance Wars might be.
just like old Advance Wars?
Yeah, it's basically old Advance Wars. Do you enjoy it?
I remember playing it a little bit. Where was I playing that? Oh, I think I was playing at a cousin's house.
Like
they had Advance Wars.
I would rather play. Like, here's the thing. I think Advance Wars is better than Fire Emblem. Like a lot better than Fire Emblem, because Fire Emblem, like they've decided to do this weird thing with Fire Emblem, where they're like, "Hey, you know, we could just make Waifu Simulator the game," which I know Rory will like protest and say that's not what it is, but it seems like that's kind of the path they go down a little bit. Is like, hey, let's make the game pervy because we can.
Cool.
In some ways. And like after watching like Pat play like through, or Shadow Rico, who streams on Twitch, play through all of Fire Emblem Engage, I'm kind of like, I'm kind of glad I didn't buy this game. Advance Wars is a lot more closer to, let's say, like a BattleTech or XCOM, but a lot simpler. It's, hey, you want to fight a opponent? And it's like, yes, I do want to fight an opponent. And it's like, cool. Now go move your troops into position and fire. Okay, cool. And it's like, lot more bare bones stripped down. There's not a whole lot of like resource management and stuff like that, so it's not like a PC game. I enjoy it. I think it's so far it's one of those games that I like really like. And I'm kind of a little bit more along the lines of kind of happy that it exists. It's not like it's not like, how do I say this? It's not my favorite game so far,
Okay.
but it's one of the ones that I've enjoyed. So it's one of those games that I've enjoyed so far in terms of like how it works.
Because I mean, Advance Wars is not complicated.
Yeah, like it's not
it's very rock paper scissors. I'm pretty sure,
Yeah, it's pretty much rock paper scissors.
which is fine.
Yeah, it's great. They should make a new Advance Wars. They should also make a new Battalion Wars, but you know,
One thing at a time.
yeah. Because Battalion Wars was also pretty cool. But I've enjoyed it. It's fun. I'm still in the early game. If that makes sense.
Yep. I plan to get that game when I get a chance, but like I don't want to play it on fucking Switch. That's the only reason why. Like I refuse to buy a console for 2 games. I refuse to buy a console for 3 games alone. Like there has to be some other drive for me to get it.
Well, you're gonna have
As much as I love the idea of playing Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or Advanced Wars, it's not enough to justify a fucking $400 console.
I mean, here's the thing with those games is like I think that if you were Breath of the Wild's a really solid launch game for the Switch. And then you have games like Mario Odyssey, which is like one of the best platformers ever. You have Bowser's Fury, which I would say is really good. You have Mario Maker, which is really fun. You have some of the coolest Pokemon games on that console in terms of like Pokemon Arceus that we haven't had for like years. And like all of that stuff is there. But like it's not like what you're saying is wrong. It's just that it's accurate and it's all in the eyes of the beholder too. Like,
well, again, that's my argument why I can't buy that console.
yeah.
I don't. Again, it's the same with the reason why I don't have an Xbox One X.
Oh, that one
Series X, or a PS5 again.
Yeah.
Maybe 1 or 2 games on each I want, so I can't. For me, I just can't justify buying it.
The PS5, I'm more tempted to. After buying my PS4, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait. Like, there's not a whole lot of reason for me to buy a PS4 or a PS5 anymore. And like the reason why I own the Xbox was it came up at work, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to buy an Xbox?" I'm like, "Yes, I'll buy an Xbox," and I did without thinking. And I think I bought it, and then immediately, like 2 months later, I moved into my house. And I actually could have used the money too. That was the best part. But yeah, no, I got it for basically like the retail MSRP, and at the time it was like, yeah, okay, I can see myself using that thing, and I've used that thing a lot more than I thought. Like, just like when like I'm like, oh, I need to relax and I don't feel like playing a PC game, I'll play an Xbox game and play a single player game. And it's exactly like kind of how I feel about that game right now, console right now. It's like I don't think that like it's really good. I don't think it's fantastic, but like Microsoft right now has kind of some exclusives I like, and I agree with you in that circumstance of like, yeah, buying a console for one game is really stupid, which makes me an idiot because I bought it for literally no games. But that's just me.
I mean, I got it because I'm a mark for Pokemon, and I know eventually I'm going to get it for Pokemon. So, I got it when I got it when I got it.
kind of, you gotta realize, like, I watched a lot of the launches for like Sword and Shield and
I mean, those
what's the last one? Scarlet and Violet, and I kind of like looked at it like they're not Pokemon games to me.
they're not as good as the old Pokemon games.
I don't know. Now I would say the new ones definitely are just a lot different than they are from the old ones.
The new one, okay. But here's the thing, like, okay, I had to explain this to my nephew of like the reason why I refused to buy him a Pokemon game. Going forward.
Or you just get him what he wants. I mean,
No. I can
Okay,
buy
then.
him something else that he wants.
uh-huh.
The reason I refused to get him a new Pokemon game is because the last Pokemon game I bought Scarlet.
Right.
There were streams of this. There are files. I have files of us playing Scarlet, and we're like, I'm playing it, and I'm like, this is literal shit.
I mean, they have been updating the game. I'm not sure if it's any better than it was before, but I don't know. They have been slowly trying to make fixes.
but that doesn't change my point.
Yeah.
Like I.
But at the same time, if a kid, okay, so literally, if a kid wants to play a game about horses, but the game's trash, the kid still wants a game about horses.
Yeah, I don't care.
Uh-huh.
You see, if the kid wants to play a game about horses, there's also something else where the kid might go like, "Oh, I would like this too." Right? So,
Sure, but at the same time, it's just, if a kid is so, if you really, really, really wants a fucking Pokemon game, just fucking give the kid a Pokemon game.
I mean,
It's just like, at the end of the day, it's not gonna ruin anything.
you're also forgetting the part where like I can sit there and just let my sister buy the game and then call it a day.
Or do that.
Like, and that's probably like that's a lot healthier than what I did with Emily, my niece, I should say. My niece, she got all of this stuff because she likes Stranger Things, a show that I should probably watch. But she likes Stranger Things and she likes horror stuff, even though she's like a raging Catholic. And so she was like, "Oh well, can I have Stranger Things stuff?" So I bought her a bunch of Stranger Things stuff. That's all we bought her was Stranger Things stuff. So she got that. Seth didn't tell me what he wanted, and I refused to buy a Pokemon game. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's more of not telling you, then fine.
Yeah, I would have been fine buying him Arceus, but I also was like, whatever. Anyway,
I don't think we have anything else to talk about this week.
no, we could talk about how Josh is like talking to me about how I'm a mediocre uncle. So
Like, again,
most like, you gotta realize the average is mediocre. So like, you're in the average.
by the way, I found our episode image.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Yeah, this is our episode image this year.
What the? Oh. That's okay.
We'll crop it out, and then we'll put so long.
how about no?
I was gonna say, I'm not sure about this. I'm pretty sure this is the LA riots. I'm not sure about this.
It is the LA riots.
Yeah.
That's the roof Koreans.
Oh, it is.
Koreans.
So I'm gonna say no.
Okay. The alternative is the picture of Ryu walking away.
You'll figure
I'll
something out.
probably do that one.
Yeah.
But I think that's a podcast.
Is that a podcast? Well, I guess it is. It's a podcast. Thank you for listening to this Black Mike Games podcast. Episode whatever the fuck. Who cares? Nobody cares anymore about a number. It's stupid. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Allan, for your service. going away, leaving us forever. We'll bribe Rory with I don't know. Josh, think of something. We'll bribe Rory with Dark Souls. Just copies of Dark Souls.
I was like, how do we dangle a concept of Dark Souls on a stick?
It's very easy. We buy copies of Dark Souls and then we put them. Do
we put like a legendary weapon that's like magic enchanted on the end of a stick with rope, and then we're like, come on.
No, that's a hard concept. I don't think we could also bribe him with Berserk. I think. But that would be a lot harder because we would have to find a hooker who's actually relatively good looking and willing to play Casca for 30 minutes.
Anyways, fucking finish and wrap up the fucking episode. Holy shit. You're fucking dragging out a bit, dude.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. Bye.
Jesus Christ.
Courage, duty, honor. We call upon our troopers in this our darkest hour. Our way of life is what we're fighting for. The flag that flies above us inspires us each day to give our very best in every way. It's a good day to die when you know the reasons why. Citizens, we fight for what is right. A noble sacrifice. When duty calls, you pay the price. For the Federation, I will give my life. When all is fair in love and war, that's what my gunny says. You're not alive unless you're almost dying. These are the words I'd march by. Duty, courage, honor. Every single day I've been trying. It's a good day to die when you know the reasons why. Citizens, we fight for what is right. A noble sacrifice. When duty calls, you pay the price. For the Federation, I will give my life. Courage, duty, honor. Eagle, he flies high above us. Eagle, he makes our spirits soar. Give me the strength to carry on, to fight this war. It's a good day to die when you know the reasons why. Citizens, we fight for what is right. Courage, duty, honor. A noble sacrifice. When duty calls, you pay the price. For the Federation, I will give my life. Courage, duty, honor. It's a good day to die when you know the reasons why. Citizens, we fight for what is right. A noble sacrifice. When duty calls, you pay the price. For the Federation, I will give my life. For the Federation, I will give my life.
I was also very tempted to go to Memory Express or something and just ask them, could I find a way to get you guys to test it?
They'll probably do it for free.
I was gonna say, could we do it for free and see if we could test it? Because I'm like,
if you explain to them what happened and just say you want a card, they'll probably try to sell you a new card and probably say no, it's not worth it. But you can say, can you humor me?
yeah.
Here's the question: do you notice any corrosion on the PCB?
On the connections itself on the card, I see nothing there. There's a little bit of corrosion, but it was not damaging beyond reason.
Then you're probably okay.
Yeah.
By the way, is everyone recording?
Yes.
I'm recording.
All right.
Although I don't think I was recording the first bit of it.
Yeah, that's expected.
I was like, oh yeah, I should be recording. So I got that on and all that jazz.
Sync in 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.